Here's the video for Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Jazz. He showed up in one episode so far of Robots in Disguise, at least that I've seen. And here he is, the Warrior Class being the new deluxe-ish class, size class. And here is Jazz. Found him today while out looking for Ultra Magnus. Didn't find Magnus, but we found Jazz Sideswipe, as you mentioned. So he comes with this little lance/rifle piece, which again, you can plug it into the top of the vehicle mode. Not the most elegant storage, but there it is. Now underneath, he looks simple. He's actually got some really neat transformation bits on him. It's just a shame that just overall he looks so basic and simple. We'll get to robot mode later, but like even the exterior of his vehicle mode, it's not animation accurate. If you've seen the episode. Exactly, and certainly not as robot mode. And it's so sparse. It's so white and sparse. And like he does have the blue and red stripes and details on him, but not really in enough areas to make him not feel like he just appears to be like a cheaply made toy. And while he's, they're had like the back window's not painted. Why? I don't know. But and he's just got a slightly odd design. It's not a horrible design. Like if somebody said, "Hey, here's a Transformer. Who do you think this is supposed to be?" I would say Jazz. He's got the vague shape and the right colors and everything, but just something that's a little bit off on the vehicle mode. So yeah, I feel like there was another point I was about to make here, but I've forgotten what it was. So anyway, on to robot mode, and like I said, transforming him is kind of fun. You just unpeg these here. These are his arms up here in the front. You need to unpeg from the front and bring them out like this. And out around like this. This whole panel, of course, should fold down. Oh, maybe we got to open the doors first. Open the doors first, then this whole panel comes down. There we go. And this whole panel comes down to form his chest. His shoulders come all the way up. They rotate around and lock up like that, and then you rotate the wheels down at the shoulders. The doors can just kind of, this should actually, there we go, push that all the way down. There's a couple tabs in here that do actually lock this whole thing down like that. And underneath here, lift up this panel, split the legs, and rotate the feet down. So very similar to Drift, the way the feet work there. And then this panel actually comes up. You push this flat, this panel comes up, and you can see there's a couple little tabs here on the arm that peg into some slots right up here. So you lift this up. It comes packaged like this. It comes packaged with this panel down, and you actually lift this up and then tab those. And they actually peg in quite a bit and tab in very securely up here. So yeah, this whole panel locks into place on his back. And flip out his fists. And then he can hold this as either a rifle, or as I mentioned earlier, you can kind of hold it as a lance type weapon. I prefer the lance just because you don't see this skinny bit as a rifle and it kind of hides the peg. But you can hold it however you want. And in robot mode, he's actually pretty cool looking. I like the detail. I wish the wheels folded away a little bit better. Like if these panels could rotate around, bringing these up to the front and hide the wheels in the back, I think it'd be cool. He's got decent range of motion. He doesn't have a forward and back arm swivel, unfortunately. He does have a bicep swivel, but it doesn't move this way at all. So he's just got the hinge at the shoulder. He does have a ball jointed head, although it's is it ball jointed? No, maybe it is just a mushroom peg, just a swivel on his head. No waist swivel again due to the transformation, but he does have ball joint hips. He does have a thigh swivel, hinge knee, a little bit of movement again. Good forward movement in the ankle, but it doesn't go back so much because of this piece back here. So he's not quite as posable in the legs as Sideswipe. Oh, and he's got a hinge there on his shoulder as well. So forward and back, and then this front piece comes up. Hinge elbows and all that. Like I said, he looks like Jazz. Now he does have eyes instead of a visor, and that makes his face look a little silly on the toy. Now they show, you can actually see his face without the visor, there on the card art. And he does look like that on the show. That's a pretty accurate look to Jazz. Although in the show, he does have a visor that flips down that he wears for a good bit of the show. And I would have liked to have seen that. But like his show model is just really nice. You can kind of see how he's got some red on his shoulders, but the shoulders are more of a dome-type pauldron. He's got these little designs. I pulled off some of the art when I opened it up. But he's got a really neat-looking design on the show that isn't quite captured in the toy. It's a like I said, in robot mode, he looks like Jazz. His transformation is neat, and it locks to everything holds together very sturdily, unlike Sideswipe. If you watched that video already, I like him as a Jazz. I don't know if it's not. I would have loved to have a much more screen accurate representation of Robots in Disguise Jazz, because I think his on-screen design in the show is really neat looking. And this is kind of a pale imitation of it. Good, solid toy, just not the best representation of what he looks like on the show. Whereas Sideswipe is a neat-looking toy, looks like, aside from a few, just kibble issues, looks like Sideswipe from the show, but has a few structural engineering issues. Jazz is kind of the opposite of that. Great engineering on the toy, fun, some neat things I like about him, not as screen accurate. So yeah. Worth picking up? Yeah, I think Jazz is worth picking up. Like I said, Drift and Grimlock I think are still my two favorite ones. I mentioned that in Sideswipe. Having played with both of these now, I can confirm that is still the case. Jazz is up there. Sideswipe would be absolutely on that list if his shoulder's locked. But I think Jazz is worth picking up. Sideswipe, if you want a representation of the character, he's a good representation of the character. He's worth picking up for that, as long as you're not looking to spend a whole lot of time actually playing with him, or at least posing his arms. So yeah, definitely worth picking up Jazz. There he is, Warrior class Robots in Disguise, Jazz.